Hot 97, it's TT Torrez with another episode of Artist Quarantine with my special guest, Neo.
Yeah. What's
One
going
of
on,
my
Mom?
favorite people on the planet. How are you?
As you are one of mine, indeed.
Neo was my inspiration for really turning vegan. I'm not 100% there, but I'm better than I was before thanks to you, Neo. You inspired
Well,
me to change my entire diet.
well, that is love. Now I have to re-inspire myself. I wouldn't be me if I wasn't honest with you, TT. When the quarantine happened and they told everybody to go home and didn't tell everybody how long they was gonna be home or what was really going on, I said I'm gonna eat what's here. I'm not gonna even
Really?
risk going trying to find some vegan anything. I'm gonna eat what's here. We ain't leaving this house. And so I jumped off the wagon. For a minute.
Wow.
I'm in the process of redisciplining myself to get back on the wagon, because I will say this: if you go completely vegan and stay there for a little while and then come back, you will feel the difference. You
You do feel the
absolutely.
difference.
Oh
And
my God, you feel the difference. Yeah.
and the crazy thing
Yeah.
is that I don't even have a taste for meat or anything anymore. Like I find it like very grotesque when I like see people eating it. I don't want to be like one of
Yeah.
those people that judge people's food, because I think that's like terrible when you're in a restaurant like, ew, what are you eating? You know what I mean? But
It's
I
like,
find it challenging to even look at someone eating chicken.
yeah. Well, me and chicken reconciled our differences, but I'm about to pick a fight so that we can split again. I have to do it. I have to do
Wait,
it.
so you back on, what about red meat? Did you get back on steak and stuff like that?
Nah, couldn't really do the red meat. Nah,
Yeah.
couldn't do the red meat.
So
I brought back bacon and I brought back chicken, definitely.
pork, I'm so
Uh,
surprised.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. But
But again,
you could feel it though in your body, right?
oh no, that's the reason that's how I know. It's like, all right, I went back to it like maybe I was tripping. Maybe I was just, got caught up in the moment, caught up in the hype of it. But no, you feel
Mm-hmm.
the heaviness. You
The
like
heavy,
your
yeah,
face, your skin, like
your
you can
skin,
tell.
everything. I
You
used
can
to
tell when
have
you take that out and put
issues.
it back in. Yeah.
Yeah, because I used to have issues with my pores in my face getting extremely clogged, and
Mm,
oily pockets in my face. But ever since I removed meat out of my diet, I've never had those issues again. Because
yeah.
I think the hormones that are in the meat and the way they do it now, I think it was affecting my skin, because I see a big difference in my skin.
You are
Yeah.
100% affected by the things you put in your body. Don't let nobody tell you different. It's just
Yeah.
truth.
So I
Truth of it.
hear you're out of the country currently right now, right?
Yeah. I took it upon myself to come over here for a second before the borders closed and whatnot, to come over here and catch some vibes and some energy that I need for this album. Yeah.
So where are you? Is it London you're at, or Africa?
No, I'm in London right now.
You're in London. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So what type of vibes are you trying to catch for the album?
So I've always been the kind of artist that was blessed with the kind of fans that allow me to jump genre and do different things. And I just wanted this album to be kind of a representation of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
and when I say the kind of fans that allow, is because, let's just be honest, as an artist, you can do whatever the hell you want, but if the fans don't respond,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But
My
you're at
fans
this
have not
point,
only,
you're a
I'm
global
sorry?
superstar. I'm sorry, but at this point you're a global superstar.
All the more reason for me to make sure that every aspect of what I've been allowed to do is represented. So I came over here to kind of catch a kind of a international thing, and I gotta say it's working. This album, and I definitely want this to be known. This album is kind of the first album where I intentionally, on purpose, and officially opened my arms to like other writers, other producers I
Wow.
haven't worked with before, and I did it for this reason. Now, the only reason I've never really done it a lot is because I've never felt like anybody was gonna write a song for me better than me. Like,
Yeah.
who's gonna give me better than me? But what I realized is that, okay, even if what I do well, I do what I do the way that I do it, which means there is, this box of harmonies, this box of melodies, this box of cadences that are kind of my go-to, right? And even if they're good, I would be doing myself a disservice to not take advantage of the fact that there are literal billions of melodies and cadences and concepts that I would probably never think of on my own, you know? And at the end of the day, though the music is for me, it's not just for me. The music is for everybody. So why would I not do everything in my power to make sure that the music is as good as it could possibly be, as opposed to going, well, this is what I do, so here. That's selfish. I feel like as an artist, that's personally selfish. So I took it upon myself to expand my horizons a little bit and work with some people I've never worked with before. And I gotta say, it's been an amazing experience for me. It really and truly has. Like, I'm kind of looking like I've been working real hard.
I want to talk about this album because before COVID hit, you actually came to the office, my office where I was at, and you played me a body of work that you were ready to put out when we talked about your singles, and we also talked about different perspectives you were in your life, making that particular body of work that you played for me. So are you scratching what you played for me and restarting all over, or are you going to have those records mixed in with the new vibes that you're creating in London?
I'm not scratching everything. But I always give myself the opportunity to outdo myself. Meaning, I love this record, but if I come up with something better than this record, then I'm gonna go with that as opposed to this record. Like I've always allowed that, because that's just the fairest way to do it. The best records make the album, right?
Yeah.
But with that being said, the songs that I played for you, for what this album is, just in reference to the stories that are about my life, like a lot of those songs kind of have to go on the album because they're like Polaroids. You know what I mean? It's a snapshot of what was going on in that moment. Yeah, and in order to tell a full story, I need all the pieces. So even if I've done a song that I feel like is better than this one for what it means has to stay. You know what I mean? So there's a couple songs that fit into that category, but everything else is, you know, the best song with the most, and it's not just the best beat, it's the best lyric, it's the one that I feel like is going to really push and do what I needed to do. You know, there's a lot of different things that go into why a song makes an album, why a song doesn't.
Yeah. And the great thing that, you know, I've been interviewing you for years, it feels like, since the beginning of your career, I always tell this story how I met you at a Mix Show Power Summit when the Mola Roller two-way pages just first came out. I think it was a Sidekick or something like that, where you can beam your contacts. And I remember sitting on a bus with you, and you were in the back, and you were super quiet, and you just had the Stay record that you were trying to get out there and promote. And I didn't know much about you, but you were so polite. You was like, "Hi, my name is Neo. I'm a singer, and I'm a songwriter." And you were just literally introducing yourself to all the DJs and all the program directors when they used to have so many events for us to get together at. And I just remember looking at you like, and just being in that moment saying, wow, this is someone special. Like, from the creativity, the writing, like, just special. Like, you're just an artist that just always has to create. Whether you put it out to universe or not, it just feels like you have to get it out, like, no matter what. And that's the great thing about special artists, is that talent is in their soul. It's in their body, you know?
Absolutely. And thank you for that. I appreciate that. I remember that. And part of me being as quiet as I was, because I was damn terrified, I'm gonna be very, very honest with you. Because I felt like this is definitely like a rapper type thing, and I'm not a rapper, so like, why am I gonna be accepted here? Like, what is it? It was more of that, but you were very gracious, and you've always been, which is why you're one of my favorite people in the world. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I just love you though. But I love how with each album over time, because I remember you being this shy person, right? But your art throughout time has given me more of an inside look into you. And I feel like Good Man is my favorite Neo album. And the reason why I say it's my favorite Neo album is because that to me felt like your most vulnerable body of work. I don't know if it's because
Mhm.
the age that you were when you put that out, but it felt like you gave more of Neo, like the grown man, the father, the husband. I just felt like I had a inside look into your world via that album when you put the Good Man album out.
That was I mean, your response to that album is a response that I was hoping the world was going to have to that album. But I can honestly say, and it's funny I can say this out loud now, because I never wanted to say it out loud in the moment because I felt like I don't want to say anything and jinx myself. I never felt like that album was going to get the response that I wanted it to get.
Wow.
Because I just felt like in the time that I put it out, even though I was where I was and I was feeling what I was feeling, the world was feeling a very, very different way. You know what I mean? And not to say that love will ever go out of style, but you know, I feel like when the Good Man album came out, just in that era, it wasn't love, wasn't it? It wasn't about love.
Rap was it. Yeah, because
You
it
know,
was
we was
heavy
hot girl
dominated.
summer
Yeah,
and
yeah. I was gonna say it was heavy
you know,
dominated by rap. Rap was heavy dominated. And
right. And mind you, taking nothing from like no
right.
disrespect to rap. I love rap, but at the same, but yeah, I just felt like because rap had the spotlight the way it did in the moment, and just you know, and not only so much just rap, but just the consensus of where people was in reference to relationship and shit and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like it was let's do what we gonna do and give me some money and go on about your business. Like that's kind of the you know what I'm saying? And here I come talking about trying to be a good husband, and it's like, okay, I mean, it sounds good, but we ain't on that right now. You know what I mean? And mind you, I always pay attention to the climate in which I drop an album, and that for me helps me be okay with whatever happens or doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if I intentionally go against the climate, I gotta expect that maybe this isn't gonna go all the way I want it to go. But I can't create something that is the climate just because it's the climate, because that's following trend, and I can't.
But that's what makes you an artist. But that's to my point of you being able to create. Like even the reason why I appreciate that album too is because no, it wasn't the climate, but at the same time, I appreciate you for creating such body of work and putting it out there, whether it did well or not. You created a body of work that was pleasing to you in that moment, and you gave it to the universe. And so that's what I appreciate about you as an artist, as a creator, because to me, you're more than just an artist. You're a creator, and I think that's the difference between. I'm not comparing you to anyone, but between artistry and creators. Like you can have an artist that just puts out music and live this artist life, but then you have people that are creators, and that's kind of a different thing in my head. Like, yeah, you're an artist,
I know
but you're a
exactly what
creator.
you mean. As an artist, it's almost nowadays entirely for the onlook. It's for the eyes watching. It's for the spotlight. It's for the attention. It's for the money. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what it is to be an artist right now. As a creator, it is simply about creating. And if it does well in the eyes of the public or not, kind of doesn't matter, because it's about what I felt in the moment and what I needed to express in the moment. And that's why I've never shed a tear over an album performing poorly, because it's like at the end of the day, it's not my job to sell albums. I mean, I create music. That's my job. And if the music I gets the point across that I meant to get across to one person,
You've done your job. You've done your job. And I also think that is what creators need to do in order to be mentally stable, in order to be able to create. And
you just said a word.
Yeah.
I don't even think you understand how you just said a word. I know that I'm not just speaking for myself when I say, as a creator and an artist, you sometimes fall into this place where you are either pulling your hair out because what you want to do versus what you want to do versus what you feel like you have to do, right? or you're second guessing everything that you've done because of that whole this is what I feel, but this is what's hot right now, or this is what the masses want, or this is what's expected of me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it is a nerve-wracking place to be, because it's like you feel like complaining, you feel like it's something worth complaining about, but then you realize, how dare you complain about people liking you? Like, relax. You know, so it's like you feel, it's like you don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's why I respect artists like you, artists like Beyonce, artists like just creators, because it's important that you share your work to the universe. Like, regardless of whether or not it hits this standard that whoever wants to put on it, it's important because people need to feel that energy, and people that gravitate to that energy will feel it. You know what I mean? Whether you realize it or not, or whether it shows up in the numbers or not. And so
I think that's kind of one of the beautiful things about the music industry right now. Like, you know, young cats that run up on me and ask me questions about how do you make it, or what should I be doing, or what advice do you have? I continually point out the fact that, bro, you live in a time where you can make music by yourself with your laptop in your bathroom, and then upload it yourself and sit back and wait on a little check. Now, mind you, it might be a little check, but there was a time where you could not do this. Like, this is something that you can do now. You can do exactly what you do and wait for your audience to find you. It doesn't always have to be about, you know, oh man, I got to do that because that's where the money is at. Well, if money is your only outlook in this, there's a billion other things you can do to make money. Like, if the music means something to you, do you, and let the people that rock with it find you.
Right.
Be patient and let that happen, because that's going to be more fulfilling in the long run.
Yeah.
You got people with you that you know are diehard and genuine fans and genuinely care about your outlook and your ideas and your opinions, versus a million drones. You know what I'm saying? A million streams. What is a stream? Is a stream a person? Is a stream a fan? Or is it just
somebody?
Is it a
right? Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Algorithm. Yeah. And also too, not to mention the creativity flows through you, and also through what you create for other artists as well. You know, so when you're in that creator mode, you share so much to the universe, not just creating and then being an artist, but also creating and developing artists and letting them flourish in their careers, because you've done so much for many artists in this industry. So that's also a level of creativity that your work will live on forever through that person's artistry. So you have to really you know, applaud yourself, you know what I mean? Because it's like you're creating something that's just bigger than yourself. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it becomes easier. It gets easier to applaud yourself when you stop focusing on the goals and aspirations of an artist, and let it be about the creativity, or let it be just about creation. You know, when your art is only as good as someone else's opinion of it, you might be doing it for the wrong reason. Like this is supposed to be, music has always been like an outlet for me. Like, it's just therapeutic. If I couldn't say it out of my mouth, I could write it in a song. You know what I mean? Like, it's always been that for me.
Let's talk about the Verzuz battle you did. You were like the very first person to jump on the Verzuz battle. You and Jonta Austin. And do I say his name right? Some people say Jonte, some people say Jonta.
I've heard him produce and introduce himself as Jonte, so I believe it's Jonte. Yeah.
Okay,
but we weren't the first. We weren't the first. I think the original Verzuz battle was Swiss Beats versus Tim, right?
Yes, and that happened at Summer Jam. Let's
right.
That happened at Summer Jam. I think that happened the same Summer Jam you came out on with Remy. That year you popped out on. Yeah.
So that's where the initial idea came from. And then before me and Jonta, it was The Dream and Sean Garrett, right? That one happened. And I don't know if you remember, but that one kind of went left a little bit, which is why me and Jonta decided to go next, because we felt like we needed to do something representing R&B in another way. You know what I'm saying? It was just, for whatever reason, it went left. Whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, Johnson hit me up like we should go next. I'm like, all right, cool. After looking at the way that one went, we laid down some ground rules. We're like, all right, let's do 20 songs a piece, a minute 30 per song, roughly. You know what I'm saying? Keep it moving, keep it moving. The event, it went really well. It was like roughly 100,000 people watched that caught it, which I felt like was really dope for something that was
dope,
primarily and strictly R&B. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, again, we just discussed how, you know, as of late, hip hop tends to get the bigger spotlight. So for them to like, for 100,000 people to tune in for R&B event, like,
and it was still very new at the time to Instagram.
Yeah.
So
to the point where people are telling me I should do another one as an artist.
Yes, I was just about to say that. I was thinking you should do another one.
Yeah. Against who though? Let's have this conversation.
It has to be somebody.
Who would it be?
It has to be somebody with a body of work. Like, it has to be someone of your caliber. Like, it can't be, because you just have too many hits. Like, I was thinking Trey Songz, but then I'm like, you got way too much hits. You got catalog. You got maybe Chris Brown, but then that's like, I don't know, man. It's hard to match you up with somebody, to be honest, because even the records you wrote for is just like, that's not fair. Like, you couldn't, like, you would have to like it would have to be a rule to where it could just be Neo artist records.
Yeah, no, it would be that's what it would be. It would be Neo as an artist, not Neo. We already did the Neo as a songwriter battle. We did the songwriter battle. This would have to be the artist battle. Yeah, I feel like if it's just that lowers that, you know, broadens the playing field a little bit more. If it's just songs that I've done as an artist.
Yeah. So I think, like, you know, maybe Usher, but then Usher is a little bit older. Usher's older than you.
Usher has a much bigger catalog than
I do. But I could see a Chris Brown. You know, you and Chris Brown got some hits.
I feel like Chris got so much music out, though. I feel like his catalog is probably bigger than mine, too, just considering the fact that he has so much out.
What do you think about Trey?
Trey would be interesting. I don't know. I really don't know. That's why I'm asking you, because as more and more people say it.
I gotta think on it, but I do want you back for another. I do want you back for another Verzuz, though. You gotta come back. You gotta come back for another.
Tell Swiss and Tim holler at me. I do it. Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting because this album, you're out in London, you're working with other people, and how is that like when you're in the studio and people who may not have worked with you before are now working with you? Do they feel like a little bit intimidated, or do they come in with like, okay, I'm gonna treat him like a brand new artist? Because it's kind of hard to come in and work with someone like you, knowing like
you know what, I realized that, and I kind of geared up for that. So the way that we've been doing it here is, you know, the writers and producers will come in, and, you know, I'll go down and do a general introduction and let them know the whole purpose of this is for me to kind of catch y'all's vibe, you know. And I feel like if I sit in here overseeing what it is y'all doing, you're gonna instantly flip into Neo mode. Like, all right, well, let me do what I would do if I was doing it for Neo. I don't want that. I want you to just do what you do. So what I'm gonna do is, here, this is y'all room. Ideas, concepts, throw them together, and then send them over. I'm in a whole other room because of course I'm still doing what I'm doing. Right. So I'll let them put together a piece of something, and I'll grab, you know, pieces of, you know, the ideas that I feel like work. I'll grab those and then add some of my own, and then that becomes a song. I feel like it's easier to do it that way because now nobody feels pressured because I'm like sitting over their shoulder, like, no, what you writing? Nah, like I prefer to let you do your own thing. I'm gonna give you your own space so you can fall into your own zone, and then I'll incorporate. You know, I'm flexible. I can work around what it is that you do, as opposed to, you know, pulling you out of your comfort zone when I need the best from you right now.
Yeah. So when is this album going to be released? Have you had a release date yet?
I would love to release this album somewhere around my birthday, which is October 18th.
Nice.
Libra life all day. Libras, we run the world. We don't tell people. But I don't know. I guess it's really gonna depend on me at this point. I'm definitely getting what I came here to get. I will say that. What I came here for, I'm absolutely receiving. So this is probably gonna be the end of it right here. When I get back, wrap it up, put it out.
And turn it in. What has this pandemic taught you with everything happening in the world? Because I saw an interview you did and you said it actually saved your marriage, which I found that to be very interesting.
Yeah.
What was it that said, let me work on my family, let me work on my marriage? What was that?
So we have a tendency to put things in priority that just, keeping it all the way 1,000, just really don't need to be priority. Like we do that a lot. And when I say we, I mean we as human beings, right? Before the pandemic, yes, me and Krista were talking about divorce. You know, we had gotten to that place where we couldn't talk to each other no more. It's like something clearly wrong with you, something clearly wrong with me, but to avoid an argument, we just not gonna say nothing. And on top of that, I got a flight to catch, so I'll see you in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? It's like there's no resolution to be had like that. So yeah, we got to the place where we felt like we couldn't talk to each other no more. We felt like we didn't know each other no more. It made the most sense for us to separate. All right, fine. So for the first little minute, you know, when the Pinky Ring song dropped and all of that, I'm moving around with you know, with my team, with my colleagues, with my friends and whatnot, and I'm putting on this face of, well, you know, I mean, it's like the song says, she gave back the wedding ring, I turned into a pinky ring. Keep pushing, keep pimping, whatever. Lying through my damn teeth, because in actuality, I felt I was broken. I felt like I had failed. I felt like I failed as a man, like just as a husband. I was supposed to be husband enough to fix what was wrong, you know, to fix her, completely ignoring the fact that you can't fix anyone. That just can't happen. So when the whole pandemic happened, and everybody said, and they was like, go home, and we didn't know how long we was gonna be home and what was going on, it suddenly put in perspective for me, like, yo, everybody goes to sleep and sets an alarm like tomorrow is promised. Like you just know the sun is gonna come up. That ain't promised. That is not guaranteed at all.
Yeah.
Like the reality of the situation is yesterday is gone and tomorrow's not promised. Meaning all you got is right now.
Yeah. So
why would you allow this precious little bit of time to be filled up with drama, hate, animosity, and over what? Over what? Something that y'all could y'all really stop being kids and sit down and discuss and get over?
Yeah.
We could die tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's the truth of it. People are dying right now. Like, it could be us.
Yeah.
Cats getting pulled out their cars by cops and shot. It could be us. No one's above it.
Right.
So with that being the thought process, I went home. Went back home.
Wow.
Even though we was in the heat of it. Like, don't look at me. We was in the heat of it, but I went home. And us having to sit still really forced conversations that wouldn't have happened otherwise. You know what I'm saying?
Because there's so much other distractions. Yeah, because there's so much other distractions. Oh, I got to catch a plane. Oh, I got to do this. I got to show here. I got to do it. When this hits, it really forces you to deal with reality.
It forced me to put things in proper perspective. It's like, okay, it's one thing to move around and travel and do all of this so that I can provide for my family, but providing for your family means more than just money. It means more than making sure they got an iPad because they want it. It means more than making sure your son got the hottest new J's on. Like it's more to it than that. Yeah. It's more that's one element of providing for your family. Yeah. Food, shelter. Okay, yeah.
But what else? Time.
Attention.
Emotionally attached.
Emotional attachment, emotional connection. Like these are things that you also have to do if you are providing for your family. And that's not just your kids, your wife, your significant other. These things are important. These things are important because just like any other aspect of your life, when you start to abuse these things, when you start to neglect these things start to suffer. Those relationships start to suffer.
Yeah. And the great thing is you notice that because I think ego sometimes too gets in the way of us owning our own mistakes, right? And owning our issues. But once you
easy to point at somebody else. It's real hard to do this. Real hard.
Yeah. But once you accept your part in it and you're willing to change that part of you, because it is a process to change that part. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think it's beautiful to want to fix something, you know, despite doing what the easiest thing is to do, which is to walk away. I mean,
Yeah.
it may cost you financially, but that still is the easiest thing to do, to walk away. It's hard to fix something, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like that for better or worse, in sickness and in health part, that's in the vows of being married. I think that a lot of times, more often than not, we just say it because it's what you're supposed to say to get married, but we don't really pay attention to what we're saying and what it means, for better or for worse. Or for worse, meaning, of course you can tolerate the better, of course you can tolerate the things you love about this person. You need to find a way to tolerate the things that you don't like about this person.
Right.
You need
And
to find a way
understand
to
that
deal
that
with this
is that
person when they're
person.
upset. Yeah.
Yeah.
And exactly that. Be accepting of the fact that this is who this person is.
Right.
Like that's one of the hardest things in the world, when your only concern and your only thought process and thought pattern is about you and how you feel and your point and what you're trying to get across. It's like, all right, you need to learn how to talk and listen at the same time.
Yeah.
Something that a lot of people don't know how to do. You talk and then wait for your turn to talk again, as opposed to actually listening and hearing what's being said and letting it compute and then formulating a response. Like, we don't
and
do that
letting
now.
go and letting go of the trauma, letting go of the hurt, and really processing it and learning from it so that you can become new again and whole.
Yeah.
So
that was a lesson for her. She definitely was holding on to some things from before me, some traumas and whatnot. And it got to a point where it's like, yo, we have to do something about this.
Yeah.
Because these things that don't have anything to do with me, don't have anything to do with us, this unit, are destroying this unit. You know what I mean? So yeah. But again, it was the quarantine. It was the fact that we were sitting still. It was that allowed us the time and attention to do what needed to be done. So in a way, I thank God for the quarantine.
Yeah.
Because it helped me get closer to my family. It helped me put my stuff in proper perspective.
Yeah. But, I'm so for that. I went through a similar situation, and a lot of people were like, well, how could you fix it? How could you let him back? How could you, it's like, listen, when you decide to work something out with a person, you decide to let everything that happened in the past go, because you have come to a place where both of you have grieved it, and both of you have went through the traumatic experience, and now the healing has happened. So outside world may not understand it, and that's fine, because it really isn't for them to understand. But you two are at a place where it's finally flourishing, and it will go in flows. Don't get me wrong, every relationship goes in flows, but you know how to handle the difficult time, and you now know how to process it, and you have the tools to be able to deal with it. And so I think that's a beautiful thing. And it's a part
and I
of
think a
growing
major
up.
part of that is something that no one can seem to do anymore, which is leave the outside world outside your relationship. Everybody got to post everything on IG. Y'all get in one fight, and here come the subliminal post. Like, why are you putting the world in your business? And then had the nerve to get mad when somebody say something that you don't like. Well, listen, if you don't want it judged, don't put it on display to be judged. Like, that's a lot of people's problem right now. I don't understand how we live in a world where, before I have a nervous breakdown, let me white balance and get my focus right on my phone so that I can cry to the world. What? Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand that.
It's crazy.
But there's some problems that ain't gonna be solved
through the internet.
Just reality of it.
Instagram. Yeah. Well, Neo, I love you so much. You always have a home here whenever you want to come back. The album, I'm going to be looking forward in October.
Coming very, very soon. Coming very, very soon. Thank y'all for rocking the joint. I appreciate the love that y'all are showing.
Oh, no
I got
problem.
remixes. I got remixes on the way.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm excited about these remixes. One in particular, I'm really, really, really excited about. You'll hear it very soon. I might have to give you a little, around the corner. Don't play this for nobody ever hit. Just listen.
Exactly. I need that. I need that. Exactly.
Okay.
Well, listen.
Right, I got you.
Okay. Well, listen, when the album comes back, you come back again, and have fun in London. Enjoy your time and your creativity there. And I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, love. Appreciate you.
Bye.
All right.